Ano ang dapat gawin ng NBA para ma-address ang issue ng pagpapahinga ng NBA players during the regular season schedule? Para sa usapang yan, kasama natin ngayong gabi ang basketball analyst na si Coach Hammer, Martin Antonio. Marts, welcome back to The Score. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Anton. And sensitive topic ang hair at ang pag-shave.
Well, Marts, this has been a topic that has been discussed by many groups, many people, and I think it was brought about because of that incident wherein there was a fan na nagkwento na he traveled a long way just to watch a certain NBA star na biglang hindi naglaro during that particular game that he watched live. So, what do you think about this issue?
Well, as a coach, of course, you want to win. As a fan, you want to watch the best performers at their peak, lalo na papunta ng patapos ng season. We're looking at certain superstars for the past few months. We go through figures. 5 years ago, walo lang yung did not play due to rest. And now, 2017, 2016, 2017 season, it blown up to 250 DNPs because of rest.
Wow.
It's that much of a figure. And it might affect certain teams at certain times. Pero nakita natin na it helps a lot of contenders.
Now, the reason why teams rest players is because, one, may mga teams na nakakapag-secure na ng playoff berth. We're talking about Cleveland, Golden State, San Antonio, and there are also other reasons, like I remember in the past, nakalagay sa stat sheet, Tim Duncan, DNP, old. So, your thoughts on this, Mars?
Well, of course, if you're a coach, you would want to keep your players fresh. You want them to be at tip-top shape when the time comes that you need to win a championship for that championship drive. Again, it's not a very short season. It's one of the longest, second only to baseball when it comes to volume of games. We're looking at 82 regular season games. And if you place if you go through the championship and you play the full length, it's an additional 28 games. That's 110 games. That takes mileage on your players. So coaches want to preserve all their players, especially their starters, the ones that mga inaatasan nila na magtimon sa kanilang team papunta dun sa kampeonato.
Now, how does this affect the business of the NBA, Martin?
Oh, that's something that Commissioner Adam Silver is really adamant about. We're talking about a salary cap-driven sport. They get most of their money not from the fans. It's from the TV deals. And if you go back to it, if you look at the schedule, on average, a team plays 18 back-to-back games on the road. That's a starting figure for a team that travels. Let's say they play at Los Angeles for the Clippers, and then they move past the timeline going to New York on a back-to-back. That's very difficult for one team. And madalas natatapat tong mga back-to-backs na to is on matinees. Nakita natin ng weekend, it's the Golden State Warriors on a back-to-back. Tapos yung Lakers and Clippers against the Cavs, back-to-back din yan. So they pick their spots when to rest their star players, and it affects not that much on the TV ratings because people would still watch the games.
Now, in terms of the people, kasi ako, NBA fan, and I sometimes also plan trips to the States and look at the calendar, kailan ba maglalaro yung paborito kong team, and will I be in that city during the time na maglalaro ang paborito kong team sa city na yon. And then, what happens kapag a guy like me with those types of plans go to the game at biglang hindi pa na maglalaro yung favorite player ko from my favorite team? How does that affect the fans, and what do you think the solution will be for that?
Well, it's the fan experience that is really greatly affected. Nasabi mo, if I would travel 3 hours, let's say I'm from upstate New York, I want to watch the Sixers when Iverson was there, and then Iverson took a day off. It would be very bad for me. And what if I brought my kids? Yun nga yung na-raise na point with some articles that they were trying to watch LeBron James going through all the traffic just to see the superstar play. It affects greatly the fan experience. And with the NBA, it's what they cultivate, a family, they cultivate interaction with their superstars. It sends a different message from what they're trying to really cultivate.
And I guess organizations have to balance the business aspect and the winning aspect.
Definitely. That's the most difficult part. If you're looking at the business aspect, you want people to buy merchandise, you want them to get tickets, you want them to get the pay-per-views, the additional cable subscriptions. Again, Disney ABC has been losing money since these marquee games, nagsiskip yung mga ibang superstars. So the partners, the business partners, might look at it differently once they review it at the end of the season. But at the end of the day, it's the superstars that drive the league. On the winning side, you would always want to do what's best for your team. It's winning championships.
Kaya lang, itong mga superstars na to, for example, LeBron James, he said he's...
Very good topic,
I
LeBron James.
remember last year, he made a post on social media saying na he will take his first long rest for the first time in his career to preserve his body kasi dumating na nga siya sa punto na kailangan na niyang alagaan ang kanyang katawan.
Yes.
And then in contrast, ito namang si James Harden, wala daw siyang panahon para magpahinga. Wala din siyang panahon para mag-ahit ng kanyang balbas.
Well, if you look at it, comparing two great players, James Harden right now is top 2 when it comes to the MVP plump. LeBron James played 14 years. If you go through stats, he played 1,050 regular season games. He played 199 playoff games. In addition to that, he played 68 games under the U.S. national team from 2004 to 2012. This guy has been playing non-stop basketball for the past 14 years pro. And it's not counting 2001, which he represented the junior national team as a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
So that's a lot of mileage on that guy. He is superhuman if you look at it. And he averages 38.9 minutes per game for the duration of his career, averaging 28, 7, and 7. And that's superhuman. And he has been going deep into the playoffs. James Harden has been given a bigger role right now. He is driving the bus that is the Houston Rockets, giving 40-10 like it's going out of style. But at the end of the day, this LeBron James won 3 championships. He deserves the rest that he gets. And again, he is preparing for that championship run.
Martin, there's also some very interesting arguments, and we're talking about comparing current players and former players. John Stockton played 16 out of his 19 seasons, the full 82. So, kung current player ka, hindi ka ba mahihiya sa sarili mo na itong si John Stockton, 16 out of the 19, kinumpleto niya yung regular season?
And I think at 39 years old, he completed a full season during, I think it was his second to last year or his last year, if I may say. Steph Curry missed a few games at age 29 because of rest. KD has been injured, Klay Thompson at 28 years old, and Draymond Green taking time to rest. But the advent of sports science, the advent of nutrition, wants the players to be at peak condition towards the end of the season. It's what they're trying to do. And iba na yung laro ngayon eh. It's faster paced. It's bam, bam, run and run. Totally different from the more physical during the 90s, but it's more on the slow down, post it up style.
So if you're Commissioner Adam Silver, Martin, how will you deal with this situation? You have to balance everything, right?
Yeah, definitely. And of course, there are loopholes. Even if you try to find them, they could just report that you have a bum ankle, you have a sore knee, you might have steep throat. And it's still under the jurisdiction of the coach. You can't mandate the coach on what to do because, again, he is paid to win. And at the end of the day, he would find ways to make his team more competitive in the long run and win those championships.
Michael Jordan played the full 82 in his last season with Washington. Now, my question is, before we end this discussion, will resting affect the legacy of an NBA superstar?
At the end of the day, it's all about the championships. It's how many wins you have. They won't ask how many games you missed. They would only ask how many championships have you won for your team and for your city. At the end of the day, it's all about winning. David Griffin said it best, and they pay him to win a championship. When they ask him why he was resting LeBron James, easy. That's what Dan Gilbert pays him for. So at the end of the day, it's all about that championship in June. It's the parade, and it's about defending the crown.
But I think there will still be some people who will say,
definitely.
but you rested, and this guy did not rest.
Definitely, they would say, and they would even say that Michael Jordan scored 40 when he was 40, and he didn't take a rest.
Well, Martin, another awesome discussion with you. We'll see you again soon.
Oh, definitely.
Hi guys, keep watching The Score for the latest sports updates, and don't forget to subscribe to the ABS-CBN Sports in Action YouTube channel.